So August is a little bit of a quieter month. I kind of struggled to find all the books coming out in the month of August, but I put out a poll on Instagram and they came to the rescue and I found 8 books. This sounds really good. Coming August 3rd, we have The Pattern of the World. This is the 3rd book in the Pat and the Pattern trilogy. The first being The Hand of the Sun King. I've not read book 2 yet, but I loved book 1, so I'm looking forward to continuing on with this trilogy. As we always do, I will go over the synopsis for book 1, because then you'll know if you want to continue on with the series and read book 3. My name is Wen Alder. My name is Foolish Cur. All my life I have been torn between 2 legacies. That of my father, whose roots trace back to the right hand of the Emperor. That of my mother's family, who reject the oppressive empire and embrace the resistance. I can choose between them, between protecting my family or protecting my people. Or I can search out a better path, a magical path filled with secrets, unbound by the empire or resistance, which could shake my world to its very foundation. But my search for freedom will entangle me in a war between the gods themselves. Like I said, I really enjoyed book 1. It's quite an interesting series because the main character is a scholar rather than a warrior. So there isn't a ton of huge big battles and action sequences. It is very scholarly in its approach. We have Wen Alder kind of working his way up through the world, and on the side he's learning about this magic system that's really interesting, all while trying to balance these 2 legacies, and I look forward to getting to them. On August 7th we have A Dagger in the Dark by Tom Dumbrell. This is a prequel novella to his Pillars of Peace trilogy. I've only read the first book in the trilogy, but it's a lot of fun. Very fast paced, fun, feels very classical, and one of my favourite parts in it was the seafaring adventure kind of in the middle. But this prequel novella, I assume, follows that character before the events of book 1. In a world on the cusp of change, a young man with dreams of life far from the one he has known. I'm going to be a captain someday. Short little seafaring novella, perfect summer read. Coming August 7th. Coming August 8th is probably the book I am most excited for. Far? It feels very far away. Haha. And that would be Cyberpunk 2077, No Coincidence. Cyberpunk. I really enjoyed the Cyberpunk 2077 game. I also really enjoyed the Cyberpunk Edgerunners animated show on Netflix. And I just recently finished Neon Ghost: A Witch's Sin, which is a supernatural cyberpunk from Daniel Green. And I just want more cyberpunk, so I'm really excited for this novel when it comes August 8th. This electrifying novel set in the world of Cyberpunk 2077 follows a group of strangers as they discover that the dangers of Night City are all too real. In neon-drenched Night City, a ragtag group of strangers have just pulled off a daring heist on a Militech convoy transporting a mysterious container. What do each of them have in common? Good old-fashioned blackmail. Forced to do the job, they have no idea how far their employer's reach goes, nor what the mysterious object the container holds. Coming on August 15th, we have Labyrinth's Heart, which is the 3rd Rook and Rose book, the first being Mask of Mirrors. I know a lot of people who are super excited about this book. I've yet to read The Mask of Mirrors, but I've heard fantastic things. Again, synopsis for book 1, because then you'll know if you want to read on to book 2 and 3. Fortune favors the bold. Magic favors the liars. Ren is a con artist who has come to the sparkling city of Nadezra with one goal: to trick her way into a noble house, securing her fortune and her sister's future. But as she's drawn into the elite world of House Trementis, she realizes her masquerade is just one of many surrounding her. And as nightmare magic begins to weave its way through the city of dreams, the poisonous feuds of its aristocrats and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become tangled, with Ren at their heart. I know Sarah from Kind of Insanity loves these books. She's currently doing a reread of book 1 and 2 on her Discord in preparation for this 3rd book. Also coming on August 15th, we have Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. This is a fantasy horror novella. There's a princess trapped in a tower. This isn't her story. Meet Toadling. On the day of her birth, she was stolen from her family by the fairies, but she grew up safe and loved in the warm waters of fairyland. Once an adult though, the Fae ask a favour of return to the human world and offer a blessing or protection to a newborn child. Simple, right? But nothing with fairies is ever simple. Centuries later, a knight approaches a towering wall of brambles, where the thorns are as thick as your arm and as sharp as swords. He's heard there's a curse here that needs breaking, but as a curse, Toadling will do anything to uphold. The early reviews for this have been really positive. It's not normally the type of thing I read. I'm not really big into retellings. However, fantasy, horror, novella with really good reviews, I might have to check out. And having the main character as a toad, certainly an interesting twist. Coming August 22nd, we have He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. This is the sequel to She Who Became the Sun. And can I just say, those are both terrific titles. This is a historical fiction fantasy series based in 1345 China. Mulan meets the Song of Achilles, an accomplished poetic debut of war and destiny, sweeping across an epic alternate China. The Zhou family's 8th born son is destined for greatness. However, when he dies, his sister steals his identity and joins a monastery as a young male novice. She Who Became the Sun was everywhere when it came out, so I'm sure there will be a lot of hype for book 2, and early reviews seem to be pretty positive. Also coming out on August 22nd, we have The Water Outlaws, which has an awesome cover. Inspired by a classic of martial arts literature, S.L. Huang's The Water Outlaws are bandits of devastating ruthlessness, unseemly femininity, dangerous philosophies, and an ungovernable gender who are ready to make history or tear it apart. I hadn't actually heard about this one until I was researching books for this video. I've not read a ton of historical fiction fantasy books, but I'll be interested to see what the early reception will be for this. But either way, top tier cover. And last, but certainly not least, coming out on August 22nd as well, we have The Midnight Kingdom, the sequel to The City of Dusk. Look at the synopsis for book 1. The 4 realms, life, death, light, and darkness, all converge on the City of Dusk. For each realm there is a god, and for each god there is an heir. But the gods have withdrawn their favour from the once vibrant and thriving city, and without it, all the realms are dying. Set in a gorgeous world of bone and shadow magic, of vengeful gods and defiant chosen ones, the City of Dusk is the first in a dark epic fantasy trilogy that follows the 4 heirs of 4 noble houses, each gifted with a divine power, as they form a tenuous alliance to keep their kingdom from descending into a realm-shattering war. Bone and shadow magic and vengeful gods? I've not seen many people talk about the City of Dusk, but there's a lot of key words there that sound really good, so if you've read The City of Dusk, please let me know what you thought. Is it worth checking out? Because I'm pretty intrigued by the synopsis. And that'll do it for today. Like I said, it is a wee bit of a lighter month. However, there's a good number there that I want to check out. The Pattern of the World, A Dagger in the Dark, and the Cyberpunk book. Definitely. Let me know what you're going to read in the month of August. Are you planning on picking up any of these? I'm not really sure what I'm going to read in the month of August yet. It depends what I finish this month. However, I don't want to leave it too long before I get to the Cyberpunk book, so I'll probably read that in the month of August. But thank you very much for watching. Outro.